let's record. Happy Monday, everybody. Oh my God, Gabe, you're freaking, what is your screen? Oh, now he's gone. What was that screensaver Gabe had on? That was pretty good. I was like, was that him? And then it was like a picture of him. I wasn't sure what was going on there, but he's getting his water bottle. So we'll give him a minute. Did everybody have a good weekend? Shannon, it's been a while.
I know, it's been so long. It was a good weekend. And now that the Santa Anas are gone, the weather is nice. I'm a happy girl.
Yay. With good book recs. And Andrea, good to see you. Amanda and Gabe when he comes back on. Oh, wait, he just left. He's got to come back in. We lost him. We didn't just lose his video. We lost him completely. Let's see if he's coming back in.
Good to see everybody.
Yeah, there he comes.
Sorry, I hit the wrong button.
Yeah, what's that screensaver you got going on?
I was going to step away from my screen to fill my water bottle. And then
leave a picture of you to stare at.
Yeah, and now we got double game going on. That's not you. Is that you?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's
an old picture.
I don't know. All right, everybody. I'm going to be curious to see what everybody talks about today, and then I'll fill in because I think there's some books that are out that I liked. So we'll see what you guys do. You might even surprise. We might even surprise me. What? Okay, Shannon, take it away.
Okay, I'm going to talk about, it was hard because it's been so long since I've been there and so many great things are coming out. But the first thing I'm going to talk about is The School for Good Mothers by Jessamine Chan. Julie's nodding. It's so good. I read it, I want to say 6 months ago or more. And it's one of those that has stuck with me. I think about it all the time. It came out a couple of weeks ago, just at the very beginning of January. It's in hardcover. It's a read with Jenna pick, and it was an Indie Next selection, but it is, I want to say slightly dystopian because it is set in the near future in Philadelphia. And it's about a woman named Frida who is recently divorced, and she has a young daughter who's about 18 months old. And she is desperate for sleep and, you know, all the struggles that us parents have when we have toddlers. And she makes a bad decision and leaves her daughter at home. I'm not spoiling anything, in an exerciser so she can go work get some writing done at a coffee shop. And she is found out and is sent to court. And then she is sent to a school to become a good mother. And only if she does all of these steps will she be deemed worthy to have her daughter. And it is tinged with A Handmaid's Tale. The writing is propulsive and spot on, and Frida's voice is just heartbreaking and really unforgettable. So it's creepy, it's a thriller, it's good. I just love it so much. It's a commentary on parenting and motherhood in our society, and judgment and all of those things.
I haven't read it, but Kim at the store can't stop talking about it. It's just like we all have to read it, so it is definitely on my list to get to. Yay. Because it sounds so. She's just all. There's somebody else that read it too at the store, so the store is definitely definitely so behind it.
And it sticks with you.
Yeah, can't wait for that one. Okay, Andrea, what do you got for us?
The first one I want to talk about is Manifesto, and this is by Bernardine Evaristo, who wrote the Booker Prize winning Girl, Woman, Other 2 years ago. So we're on a three-for right now, with three of my publishers taking the Booker Prize the last 3 years. So this is the first one, or this is the author of the first one for Girl, Woman, Other, and this is Evaristo's first nonfiction title, and it's basically about beating the odds and bucking convention to work through to find literary and creative success as an older woman, which there's this sort of myth about the young progeny. And that's really like the only place that that's the only time in people's lives when they're going to make it. And she did buck the system. She's in her late 60s and kicking booty and taking names right now. And it's just a very intimate and I think inspirational account of just, you know, working to like come to this beautiful moment of fruition, like creative fruition. And also her struggle to relay stories that are absent in the literary world by centering people of color. And I can't say enough about this book. She just was a focus of a New Yorker person of interest profile. And NPR's Weekend All Things Considered had a feature on her this weekend. And then NPR's 1A also on January 19th featured her. So she's getting a lot of early attention straight out the gate. This published last week. But this is the real deal. And that again is by Bernadine Evaristo. It's a $27 hardcover and it's out now and Warwick's has stock.
Sounds really good. So good. So let's see. And then, so the other, I'm trying to think of the other bookers. Shiggy Bain.
And then the last one, this last one was The Promise.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
How could I forget
Yeah,
that
yeah.
one? Okay. Yeah, you are on a roll, lady.
Yeah, we're pretty excited about it. All my
Yeah.
little, you know, stalwart small indie presses are doing it.
Kicking it. They're kicking it. I love it. This one sounds
Need for
really
that.
good. Love it. All right, Amanda.
Can't share my
Oh.
screen.
I'm shirking my duties. That's because I got on here like at 1 minute to 4. There you go.
Hey.
Oh,
Succession.
No, I have only signed one episode, and that was because when I was visiting my dad, they were watching it. I was quite intrigued, and I feel like I want to watch it, but I want to make sure I give this series the attention it deserves. So here we go. Putting the Rabbit in the Hat by Brian Cox. This is his memoir. Obviously, we are all huge fans. And of course, the series Succession is super popular. But this also is going to delve into his personal life. Growing up in Scotland, he lost his father when he was a young child, primarily raised by his sisters. So we're just going to really get to know a lot of what went on in his early childhood that kind of led to where he is. And then all the things that, you know, we love and know him for today. So super happy that this book is out now on the shelves, ready for you to pick it up. And I just, you know, it's really nice to see these behind the scenes of these characters that you just are so big on the screen. And now you just get to know a little bit more about them and their personal life. So here we go. Putting the Rabbit in the Hat by Brian Cox.
Because he's one of those, I mean, this was a major starring role for him, but he's sort of been one of those guys that had like a lot of supporting, like more character actor kind of guy, right?
You know, he's had a really nice career. I mean, and the thing about him is he's intelligent. I think everything I've read so far about the book has been really, really positive. So I'm anxious to look at it too.
Yeah. Oh, Succession. Gabe, have you finished it?
Oh yeah, we're up to date. It comes on Sunday night when it comes on, and it's like you might have something left over that from the previous week, whatever. There's Larry David's coming on. It's Succession time. I just got a new baseball hat, plain black wool
Love it.
baseball hat because
I want to see the caravan of SUVs when you guys go someplace too.
I like to travel like that.
It's so good.
Or the heliport. Where's your heliport?
We got to get out of the book business.
It's got to be near your backyard because you don't want to get wet running to your helicopter.
Exactly. Oh my God, no, so good. All right,
Struggle is
Gabe,
real.
what do you got for us?
Oh man, I got carried away thinking of Succession. We like it so much.
I know, right?
I'm going to start with a nonfiction book by Imani Perry, South to America, A Journey Below the Mason-Dixon, excuse me, to Understand the Soul of a Nation is the subtitle. Imani Perry, I put up a couple of blurbs here from Isabel Wilkerson, Garden and Gun magazine, which is, you know, a firmly entrenched. I mean, Warwick sells a lot of. The first time I heard of Garden and Gun was from talking to Adrian, and she goes, "You guys were always selling out of Garden and Gun."
Yes.
And I always thought it was something a little different, but it's such a great magazine, regional, national scope, and brilliant literary stuff that gets pubbed in there. So they loved it. And then the Oprah Daily got starred reviews, and the trade reviews, a lot of starred reviews there that I always mention. But when Imani Perry is a really provocative writer, I think she is a really seen as an up and coming big intellectual voice in America, person of letters, real well respected on all fronts. And she goes back, you know, it's beyond a travel log. Some of the reviews have sort of described it as as travel writing, but it's much more than that. You know, it's a social, anthropological look at the culture as it exists in the South. And it's complex. The South is not just it's Confederate flags and pickup trucks. There's immigrant communities in the South now. The South is a much different animal. I mean, immigrants from Latin America and from Asia, all over the place. So, but the South remains its own self and its own state of mind and its own ideal, and trying to penetrate that. And she doesn't do a like, what's his name, Hillbilly Elegy, kissing up to the culture. She really looks at it through a perspective of who she is and who people were and where she came from. Plus, her keen intellectual eye. So it is just, it's like, when it's really a reader's book. I'm going on too long about this, but I just want to emphasize and what a great read it is. It's the kind of thing you'll pick up a chapter. You might pick up another chapter in a week. Or 10 days and or tomorrow. And it's self-encapsulated little bits of really amazing writing. And it's one of the reasons we read things and we break out of the things that we normally read. So she's a real great introduction. If you've sort of been thinking, oh my God, there's so much of this stuff out there, I'm getting really tired of it. Here's a real fresh voice and you can take it in little snippets. It's not preachy at all. Like I said, it's an intellectual endeavor as much as a physical visitation and understanding of the physicality of the space. So it's a complicated book all in all, and I think the kind of thing you can pick up and read at any point in time, and you can open it up and you'll be someplace cool. And again, it's intellectual stimulation for your brain. It's not candy, but really well done. Good writing. Good understanding of her material. It doesn't come off, it doesn't have a real kind of a negative agenda of any sort, other than to inform.
Well, you got some amazing quotes there for, there's some nice endorsements. So
yeah, they go on too. It's just how many endorsements can you put up? They just really go on and on. I only have so much space. And it keeps rolling. It's out tomorrow, so it's not out yet. So the trade reviews are everyday reviews, readers, writers, reviews in the papers and things are coming out this week, and you'll start reading a little bit about it. So
yeah.
Well, and I mean, I think that the South is become, maybe it always has been, maybe I haven't been paying the right amount of attention, but how influential it is in the whole political landscape too of what's going on. And I mean, it's, it really can influence and change a lot of.
I mean, a county makes a difference,
Right.
I just watching Karnacki the past couple of years. You just sort of see the minutia of the electoral process.
Right. Right.
How complicated it is, and how you can see extrapolation of the numbers is easy. That's easily done. But
yeah,
just the cultural impact of Fulton County in Georgia, for example.
Correct. That's what I was thinking. Yeah. So it's a really interesting look at that. Okay, back to Shannon.
Okay, so this is my guess of maybe something that Julie wanted to talk about.
That was it. I was going to do a screen share if nobody talked about it today.
Well, you could still talk about it because I feel like so much to talk about, but this is Under Money by Newman. It comes out tomorrow, and it is, I'm going to say it's not my normal read, but I couldn't put it down. I want to call it a financial political thriller.
Yep.
Does that seem fair to you?
Yep. Yep.
So Newman is a debut novelist, and this is his take on, it's about a group of American operatives. It starts with a money dump, a plane dumping $2 billion into the desert in Syria. And this group of American operatives that are going to steal it to down the line change politics in America. And it is Newman worked for 40 years in investment banking and hedge funds, and he knows about this stuff. And it's, I mean, maybe stuff that you like suspect, but you don't really know how deep and dark it goes and where all the fingers, it just, I couldn't put it down. And I will say that my dad read it and loved it, and my husband read it and loved it. And to say that the three of us are all on the same page of, you know, it's not, it's just really good. You can't put it down. It's not, it's dense, but it doesn't read that way. You just fly through it. And there's so many like social details and status symbols, talking about the baseball hat game.
But these guys probably really do have caravans of black SUVs. I mean,
yeah.
I don't know. I don't mean to interrupt you, Shannon, but no, this is like, you could always talk about follow the money and knowing where the money is. This is big money, big global politics. I mean, you talk about the dark web. This is like dark money and what is really influencing things. And knowing that Jay came from that world, even if only a fraction of the stuff that he's writing about is true, it's pretty scary.
Super scary. And the editor of this is Colin Harrison. He's at Scribner, and he just, you know, for his street, he is the editor of Red Sparrow. So, you know, he found that. And so I feel like this feels very, very like the same sort of thing that you don't come across with somebody with that kind of background writing, with writing chops to do a thriller like this. So good. Julie even has her blurb in the galley. I don't know.
Oh, am I?
You are? Did you not know?
I didn't know they put it in the galley.
Yeah, Julie's review.
Ooh, wait a
I
minute.
know, fancy.
Where's my black hat?
So out tomorrow, get your copy. I know Adrian is also a big fan of this too.
Yeah, it's really that good. I mean, and it's really that scary. I mean, you truly are flying through the pages, but it's like I said, it's just like, if even a fraction of it's true, it's just like, and you know that it probably is.
Crazy.
Even though it's just like,
All comes down to
most good thrillers
Right.
do have those threads of truth through them that that big money scary stuff, man. Ugh. So good. All right,
So good.
good to it. Okay, all right, Andrea, what do you got?
Okay, I'm sharing my screen once I figure out where it is.
Yay,
Okay, can you see that?
got it.
Hides.
Yep, Tides. This is from a brilliant newcomer, Sarah Freeman, and this is a debut novel, about 200, a little bit over 250 pages. So short but sweet, about a woman who walks out of her life, disappearing from all the people she knows, and washes up in a seaside town, haunted by some memories that have caged her in, basically. And I'm not going to tell you any more than that, but I do, just because I think it's great, and it slowly is revealed what has happened, and it's done so well that I think you should really read it for yourself. But as you can see here, there's some nice quotes. The tale of internal exile, a woman on the lam from her own loved ones and the memories that cage her. Tides is a marvel, lyrical and suspenseful at the same time. That's by Jonathan D. That nice quote. And there's like, there's some other ones here from a host, a bevy of interesting and popular authors. Lyrical, the word lyrical is used quite often. So just to give you an idea that the prose is going to be really great. Elizabeth Schmitz is the editor. She's Grove Press's executive editor. She has a great eye. She brought us Cold Mountain. That was her inaugural title that she brought to Grove back in the day. And if you're gonna have like your first book out the gate is Cold Mountain, that sold millions of copies and was really the love for that book was started in the indie bookstores. Then you kind of got to keep an eye when she like comes out and does is the editor on a book. You got to keep an eye out. So once again, this is Tides by Sarah Freeman, excuse me. That was out last week, $26 hardcover. Oops. Wow, something's going on here. And I kind of like the fabric cover too. So
Oh, is that a fabric cover? I was thinking
Yeah.
that cover I totally pick up.
Yeah, that cover is really good.
Really
yeah,
cool.
they did a good job. The art direction on that was really good. And I just think it's, the total package, as they say. So
Well, and and like you said, that particular editor has some great chops, but Grove always has very good, solid fix. So yeah.
yeah, this one,
Had a few
Manifesto
ones.
is Grove too. So just, they're firing on all cylinders. It's a great list.
That one looks really good. I think I might have to find that one. So Tides. All right. Amanda, you're up.
I'm up again. All right. So for my next book, I actually have a young adult fiction book, semi-autobiographical. So this is from Echo Brown called The Chosen One. And this is follows Echo in the book as she begins her college career at Dartmouth. The author Echo also is a Dartmouth alum. So that's where, that semi-autobiographical part comes in. And Echo was valedictorian of her high school back in Cleveland. Now she's at Dartmouth and she is struggling to keep up with her classes. She doesn't quite fit in. She feels a little bit on the outside. She's first generation in her family to even attend college. So she's dealing with a lot of different things. There's some slight magical realism, fanciful elements into it. But throughout the book, she's going to confront mental illness, grief, racism, love, friendship, and all those other emotions that every first-time college experiences, first-time college students experiences in this really refreshing story. So I'm really happy to read it. It is a young adult title. I don't remember if I stated that yet or not, but it is out now. And I think what's really wonderful about this book is that I think it's not just a young adult book for teens. I think a lot of adults are going to read this, are going to relate to Echo on so many different levels. And I think it's just a great read for anybody.
We can remember those college days, those first college days.
Then you weren't really there, as they say, about
Right.
the 60s.
Right?
Yeah, it's very misty for me at this point. Very misty.
I like the recreation I've made in my brain. I think it's
I-
a really good.
I wonder how much of my memory at this point of college, but college was fun.
Oh,
That's why you go to college,
I think I've told this story before, maybe on this, where my younger daughter got so mad at me when we were dropping my older daughter off at college because I was so excited for her. I was just like, this is going to be the best time of your life. Because I remember it was like the best time of mine. And my younger daughter was like, quit being so excited that she's leaving. And I'm like, but it's so great. I'll be sad to miss her, but it's like, it's the best time of your life in all of its weirdness and all of its like,
Yeah.
good, bad, all the bad stuff is still as good, and all of the stuff that going to be your own adult and self. It's like, It's hard, but it's
Yeah.
great.
Gotta get involved. That's what I
Yeah.
loved about college. Get involved in everything. So
And just like, and make those mistakes, because you'll never have the chance again to make those kind of mistakes.
I mean,
without,
trying to,
like getting arrested or something.
I was talking to my son about going to college, and it's just like, dude, who's gonna, offering to pay you 4 years to like hang out, basically. I played a lot of Frisbee, drank a lot of cerveza,
Exactly.
danced a lot. I
Chris,
mean,
yeah, days at the beach. It's just, it's the time of your life. Make the best of it. And the good, the bad, the ugly. All right.
yeah.
All right, Gabe.
All right, so this is the book I've been wanting to talk about. I've talked about it ad nauseum every chance I get, and it publishes tomorrow. This is the kind of book that, I said it about the Armani Perry a little bit, but this is the book about, this is why we read. A book like this is why we read. I grew up reading for fun. I grew up reading as a little kid. It was a form of entertainment. So I just would read whatever was available, good, bad. I had no idea. Adult, there was whatever was handy, I would pick up and read as a little kid. But every once in a while, even in the world of like middle grade fiction, when you're 6, 7, and 8, there are books that just pound that you read, and you're just like, wow, that was so good, and you don't really know why it was so good. And then as you read books, as you grow up, there are books that we've been talking about it that change your life, books that affect you in one way or another, books that resonate and stay with you forever that no one's ever heard of, that might have only sold 800 copies, but the story stays with you. And so every once in a while you run into one of these beautiful little books that just knocks you out. And this is one that really just blew me away as I was reading it. And when I finished it, and long after I finished it, I read the book in manuscript. I ordered a copy for myself. It came today. I opened it, and when I saw it, I was like, oh, I can't believe it came finally. I can't wait. So I've already read it, and I'm excited to put it on my shelf. And I don't have a lot of shelf space per se. I can't do that for every book I like. So that's how strongly I feel about Sandro Veronese's The Hummingbird. And what he does here is just, it's kind of a quiet telling, and it resonates with feeling like at every little sense. It's like being in college and being in high school, it's where you feel everything like really a lot. When you're into somebody, you're really into him, like your whole like way in there. Every chapter reads like that in this book. It sucks you in, it sucks you up. The protagonist is Mario Carrera. He's the hummingbird, and we follow him through his life as we see him through the death of his sister. He's missing his brother. He's helping take care of his aging parents. So all these are sort of episodes of his life that are told, and in different places and at different points in time, right? So we're just following this narrative of his life, and not to the point where he takes over taking care of his granddaughter when his daughter is now no longer capable of taking care of her daughter. He steps in and takes over, and through it all, he maintains just this quiet power. He does what he has to do, and there's really nothing heroic about it, but he just makes the right decisions, or however life unfolds. As life unfolds, when you look back on your life, you're like, wow, there's like a path that it took where it seems, while we're living it, it's kind of random. I don't know. There's just so much going on in this book, and the way you read it. And then every chapter is done in a little bit of a different style. So, when you get to that, but I'm like, this dude is just showing off what a freaking good writer he is. And there's just so much to love about this book. But just the narrative from Alpha to Omega is just really solid. And everything that's in the middle is just worth every second that you're spending with it. I can't say enough about this book. It's a fairly, aggressive print run on our end. We're putting some promotion behind it because the people have been reading it and really liking it. I got a great Michael Cunningham quote, got a great Ian McEwan quote. it is a book that's been #1 on a lot of international lists. It won the Premio Strega in Italy, and I could just go on and keep talking about this book and recite from it if you like. But don't let it slip away. I think it's a rare reading experience. I found it to be a rare reading experience, and I want to share it with everybody. And I know that we all have different tastes. Every read is very subjective, highly subjective, but I just think if you like good fiction, and if you read someone like Ian McEwan or Graham Swift, authors of that ilk, I think this book it'll blow your mind. It blew my mind.
Those blurbs, yeah. Ian McEwan and Michael Hay. But Gabe, you have been talking about this for a long time because I have a little note, all my little notes here, and it says Hummingbird Gabe. It's been sitting over here for like so yes, I can't wait.
I'm playing, man. It is. It's the real deal.
Yeah.
I think it's the real deal.
Is it a translation, Gabe? I don't know.
It's a translation, yes.
It is. Okay. Yeah. Who's the pub? What's the imprint?
The imprint is Via, which is our,
Okay.
I've
That's
mentioned a number of Via books. There are pretty much where we do most of our translations come from there. And they really are some really good stuff in there. There's some really, really great reads from Iceland to India to Japan. I mean, all over Latin America. There's been some really, really interesting, every book.
I don't go down to the store that often, but I need to get down there and get that. So I'm writing it on my thing right now so I don't forget.
There's probably a galley floating around.
Yeah, that's probably gone. All right. Okay, lightning round. Shannon.
Lightning round. I'm going to bring it home with Greenwich Park. This is Catherine Faulkner. It is coming out tomorrow in hardcover, I believe, right? Tomorrow, 25th. So this is, or maybe it came out earlier in January. It might have come out a couple weeks ago. This is a twisty psychological thriller. So if you are a Lisa Jewell fan or a Ruth Ware fan, this is for you. But the short synopsis says this is about a woman named Helen, and she is married to the love of her life, a very successful architect. She's living in a very posh neighborhood in London, in a very beautiful Victorian that is being remodeled. And after trying for years, she's pregnant finally, and she is in a prenatal birthing class, and she meets another pregnant mom named Rachel. And obviously Helen, despite everything that seems like it's going so well in her life, is a little lonely because she lets Rachel befriend her, and Rachel is kind of everything she's not. She maybe drinks a little, she's kind of loud, she's, kind of erratic, but she still finds herself drawn to her. And Rachel sort of infiltrates her life quickly, and things kind of fall off the rails, and it's twisty and turny, and it's just one of those thrillers that you pick up and you don't put down until you turn the last page and it's too late at night. But it's just great that way. So if you're looking for one, and like I said, if you're a Ruth Ware fan, Lisa Jewell fan, this would be right up your alley.
That was the hot galley at our 25th or 125th anniversary party. That was the galley. Everybody was like, I want that one.
I want that.
Yeah, we were like searching for more in the back. So that was a good one. So it's finally out. Yay. Whose book is one of your guys' book? Wait a minute. Because Beth Doherty. Hi Beth, if you're still with us. Mr. Loverman was that whose book was that? Is that one of your guys' books? No. Anyways, Beth thought it was good. Nobody was Mr. Loverman.
No, must have been Steve.
Must have been Tom or Steve.
Tom or Steve, yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, Beth liked it. Hopefully there's something this week, Beth, you like. All right, Andrea. Oh, it looks like you got a good one for us.
Yep, got a kids book for lightning round. This is The Animal Show by Marcos Farina. This comes to us from Little Gestalten. Gestalten is our art and illustrated books publisher from Germany. They do some great work. And this one is out tomorrow. It's a $12 board book, nicely priced and beautifully produced here. And it basically showcases animals to young children and just what they're, what they're known for. Just a nice introduction with gorgeous illustrations, as you can see. And I love the illustrations. I think they're great. And it's going to be a great read aloud for parents or grandparents or aunties and uncles to young kids. And just fantastic, really.
Cool.
And that's, yep.
Very
That's,
cool art. Love it.
Yep. That's the animal show, Little Gestalten. And there's a stack in the children's section for you to pick up.
I love it. I think you'd like saying Little Gestalten.
Little Gestalten.
Just rolls off the tongue.
Just kind of roll off the tongue
Yeah.
there. I like that. All right, Amanda, what's your lightning round?
All right, so for my lightning round, I have Free Food for Millionaires. So this is actually a reissue that we are bringing out. This is from Min Jin Lee, who is the author of Pachenko. So this was actually her debut novel that came out. So we've kind of given it a little repackage and bringing it back out to you. But it's the story of Casey, who is born in Queens, daughter of Korean immigrants, trying to keep up with that Manhattan lifestyle. And it's just kind of her trials and tribulations as she's just living life in New York. And so, Pachenko obviously is a hugely loved book. And so I'm so happy to see a reissue for Free Food for Millionaires for people to enjoy. So out now and grab a copy.
Love it. Yeah. Pachenko was one of Adrian's favorites. So, and I don't know if she read, she must have read Free Food for Millionaires. Anyways, yeah, good one. Good. I love going back. I love the
I
backlist
was
stuff.
about to say that exact same thing. I do
Yeah.
love going back.
There's
Something
so many
about-
treasures. There's so
There's
many
so
wonderful
many
treasures.
treasures.
Especially like books that, like for Pachenko, it's not their first book that blew up, but that's the book that blew up. And, you got to make sure you go back and
And then you've got a treasure to go back to, because
Yeah.
sometimes it's like, okay, that might not have gotten the big publish, but it's just like, oh my God, they're so good.
it's
Yeah.
just as wonderful.
Such a pretty repackage too.
I know, it's a really
I know,
good
it's
repackage.
gorgeous.
Yeah.
Gorgeous.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think
really
that
good.
that got some kind of New York Times attention, like not
It
top
did.
10 novels or something like that. It was a
It
while
did.
ago.
It was kind of one of those little bit of a literary darling thing that was going on back when it came out. But yeah, that's good.
Nice book.
All right, Gabe,
I'm
wrap
gonna,
us up.
I just
Nope.
muted myself instead of wrapping us up. Got it. Couldn't find the share button. How long have we been doing this? So I was going to talk about a young adult novel that just came out, but I really want to talk about this book, which I've been
Oh.
championing in paperback, because it is so good. And, we don't have time to read everything up front. Like Shannon said, she read the first book she presented like 6 months ago. Sometimes it could be 9 months. It could be 8 months. So we're way down the road. And sometimes you don't read something until after the fact. And by then it's usually by accident, unless you have it planned. It's one of your favorite mystery writers or one of your favorite authors that you know what you're getting. You might put that off for a vacay or something, but oftentimes these books just slip out. So I went back to look at this book purely by chance, and I couldn't put it down. I think the story is such a strong narrative. The writing is really exquisite writing, and it's like if anybody has seen Fauda on Netflix, if you haven't, watch it. But there were elements of Fauda, really tense moments here. And it's a story about living on the West Bank. I think we got a really great jacket on it. And it's a story that takes place on the West Bank. The complexity of, again, the makeup of the West Bank is, illegal immigrants coming over. The setup on this story is Hamid, who's a college student, comes across illegally to work in Israeli territory. So he's on the run. As he's running away from some police, he runs into a Tavira, who's a German journalist. and she's rushing to the site of a young Palestinian boy who was beaten half to death by vengeful Israeli kids. And then she's almost hit by Ito, who's driving his American wife and their baby, and he's distracted because apparently there was a terrorist who infiltrated their settlement and murdered a 19-year-old girl. So all these scenarios of what could possibly go wrong in the West Bank sort of collide with these characters, and she just does such a great job melding their individual stories into like one big mass narrative, and just how tense life is in the West Bank. I think there's a great quote here on the Washington Post that it makes a convincing case for a literature of multiplicity, polyphonic, and clamorous, abuzz with challenges and contradictions with no clear answers, but a promise to stay alert to the world in all its peril and vitality. So there's nothing we can do to stop any of this, perhaps, we think, at some point, but we've got to stay optimistic. But a terrific read. And I think you guys are going to be doing an event with her. I saw you guys were setting that up, and
Thank
I'm
you,
excited
yes.
I'm excited to showcase her in any kind of way. It's just really a great read. And she's a Southern California author. So I should have really pushed this a lot harder in hardback, but I think in paperback, great book club read, no doubt.
No, looking forward. I'm really looking forward to the event. I think it got pushed. It was going to be next week. I think it got pushed. It's going to be pushed, I think, till the following week.
Better time.
Because I think her one of her professors is actually going to do the interview with her. So I think
fun.
that's going to be really cool. So yeah, because I was like, I'll do that interview. Give me that book.
Lots to talk
really
about.
good.
Lots to talk about.
Yeah,
But,
no,
it's
really good.
yeah.
Awesome. In fact, yeah, thanks for that hookup. All right. Another good week of events. Let's see if I can't even remember what we've got going. Oh, my favorite is this week. Okay, I got a couple favorites. I shouldn't say that. It's like having kids, right? You can't have a favorite kid. Hold on a minute. And so I think it's out tomorrow. Hold on, I got to get my screen share on. Yes, I'm lagging a little bit, but we actually got done pretty much. It's good timing here, so I can talk about some events for a little bit. So Isabel Allende on Saturday, not doing anything. There's her new book, Violetta, is out. We've got Roderick Beaton talking about Greeks. Can't wait for this one on Wednesday. This is The Good Rich People, which is just this Tom's book. It's bonkers. It's so good. I can't wait for this conversation. So we were talking about Succession earlier. It's like, I think I've just said this before, but it's the Succession meets Single White Female meets just crazy. It's really good. And then Swan Huntley. Swan was a local here in San Diego, but her new book, Getting Clean with Stevie Green's coming out, and we'll have her on Thursday. So great week. And coming up, lots of fun stuff coming up in the next couple of weeks. So, and then Gabe's event will be over here somewhere. Yes, I think it's.
And Jillian Cantor also Gabe's event.
Yeah, there you go. There's
Great
Gabe.
package.
I know, it's a really good package. And I love her. She was an interviewer for us for one of the events that we had. She's a doll. I love her. So can't wait.
Yeah, she's great. Her books have been popping. So the last couple or three books have started popping for us.
Yep,
so
they really did.
excited.
So
that package is really nice.
It's a good one. All right, good week of reading. Lots of good stuff to choose from, everybody. Thanks for coming in again. And so happy reading to everybody out there. Thanks you, Reps, for visiting us again. And we will say goodnight.
See everybody next week.
Everybody. Thank you. Bye-bye.